are on the sub-team sync. There are no new faces, so I'm not going to worry about that. There shouldn't be too many stale issues, but if I filter by learning team, turns out there are. There's more than I thought. Uh,
We do it for all the teams, but we just ping them in case it's other teams. Like everything under docs is our domain to manage, but we just tag them to the other teams and remind them that they need to do the work.
What was the
right.
criteria for staleness?
I think it was not updated, and then we just sorted by the last update time.
Sort by last update.
Yeah, it is.
Least recently updated, so features should have more details. There's a bunch of stale stuff here.
There's a there's lots. I think we should remove that at some point from a standing agenda item. But
Well, it's either that or we decide to have a, a, a stale issue party. Um, which of
There's
these?
another option,
Yeah.
if I may throw one out there. I know in the pack repository specifically, we're thinking about employing a stale bot. And we have three tiers essentially for the stale bot. One where it would poke the maintainers after 1 week. I think after a few more weeks, maybe four, it asks whether the issue is still relevant. So that'll go both to the author and maintainers. And then if there's no response after that, then it'll just basically close it automatically 2 weeks later. So that's 6 weeks.
That's probably too short a time for
Oh,
the
we're
usual.
aggressive. But yes, they are tweakable.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's more or less the idea of whether we want to employ something here, whether some of these things do become stale, or at least drive them to completion. But open to thoughts there.
Yeah. What's your preferred bot?
For me personally,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think uh, looking through some of these, a lot of them seem relevant,
Yeah.
right? So it's more about maybe strategically thinking about how to actually get them done.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we're gonna like respond to the stale bot most of the time with like, yes, shut up. Right. So um
Do we have a? I mean, can we put a priority on the top N of these?
I think what we need is like at some point the project just needs a proper backlog and project board where we can prioritize, do things. But
we've tried that and it gets a little tricky, right? Because priorities are very much dependent on the individual, people, the individual organizations, and very loosely defined from a project perspective. Because we're doing the same thing here, right? And I think it comes down to the idea of, do people want it or do we want to provide it, right? So like for pack, the stale bot makes sense because people are reporting something. They're the ones providing something that says like, hey, this doesn't work, blah blah blah, right? And then we ask if it's still relevant. If they really care, they would implement it. In some cases, right? On this one, it's the opposite. It's like we're wanting to provide this information. We see the need for this. We see the value for this, but nobody's necessarily asking for it.
Yeah.
So I think they're not, it's not the same sort of issue that we're running across. And I don't know if prioritizing it solves a pack issue, that's for sure, right? But for this one, not sure either.
I think the way I've seen other projects do this is that they block releases until you have docs in.
Oof. That's harsh.
I mean, for a project that is like at the scale and maturity that we are, I I would personally prefer that. That if we make sure we document new features, inspect stuff before we release it, or like do it simultaneously. Like when there's a lifecycle PR going, there should be a docs PR in draft mode that gets opened, and we have like some branch that we then merge to main at some point, but that branch should contain all the commits for a specific API version or something.
Okay, so we know we've got a problem. We're not getting through docs tasks quick enough. I'm going to just try and take one or two over the next week or so and just get them done. So if you want to just ping me on Slack with your preferred, I don't really mind. I personally do want to tackle documenting lifecycle a bit better, but that I don't think is one of the tasks here. And I don't want to put another issue in without having anything behind it. So
I think there would be I think you're filtering on team learning, right? That wouldn't be a team learning task. It would be an implementation.
For documenting lifecycle.
Yeah. So our strategy, I don't know if we've talked about this, but as the learning team, it's really just to facilitate other teams for them providing their documentation for the components that they facilitate. And for us, it's really more about just the general, like overarching items, right? So like any sort of, let's see, adopters, right? So maybe marketing is what we're really focused on, right? So anything that has to do with marketing, we would definitely do that.
Okay, so this seems like something that we would like to tackle before KubeCon NA 2020.
Oh yes, definitely before NA.
Or
no, it came out of NA 2020.
Right, and if we can get it solved before Europe 2022, then that would be a good thing. So that's #81. Well, that'll be interesting because we'll figure that out. Right, we've got an issue. There's a bunch of ways that we could solve it, but yes.
Did we wait, Javier? Is there a Google Docs thing happening? Happens around now, right? Do you remember about that?
I don't remember I've seen that one. I just go through what CNCF tells me to focus on, and I don't think they've focused on that one.
Yeah.
Is it Summer of Docs? I feel like it's something.
Yeah, it's Summer of Docs. Season of Docs, sorry.
What season is it?
No idea. Program announcement February 3/22. Organizations can begin submitting February 23, which means it will be in a couple of days.
Okay.
You should definitely apply for that.
We have to do it through the CNCF, so I'll reach out to Eeyore and see whether or not they partake in that.
Yep.
I'll take that as an action item.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. So I can put that under here and just say. Yeah, and if you need somebody to help mentor that, I can help as well, which is good.
Yeah, I'll get more info and then I'll relay the information here and to other teams.
Sweet. There's an anonymous Nyan cat. That's cool.
Is that me? Yeah, I think that's
probably, but in terms of the outstanding polls, this doesn't seem.
I need someone to approve that 467.
467 is fits build pack caching logic for API 0.6. Okay.
Someone reported a bug in pack, I believe. We had incorrect docs, which is why they implemented their build pack incorrectly.
Oh, that would be a bad thing. Okay. Let me read this after we get off the call, and I'll just run it through tests and make sure that it works with the last agenda item, which is the 07 docs bump, because we've now bumped things to supporting 07 API on the build pack authors guide and the Catacoda stuff.
There's one more stale PR I wanted to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Is the download SBOM docs. I think we need to find someone to take ownership of that, right, Javier?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, given that I've made a bunch of suggestions to it, maybe I'll just is Anthony unable to finish this? Is that it?
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'll do that. That's 457. I'll get that one done, and I'll probably end up changing it to software bill of materials. I know the structured bill of materials was what we preferred, but we use software bill of materials.
It's just a confusion that we had. It is software bill of materials. It's never was structured bill of materials.
Cool. Okay, I'll sort that out. That's in Anthony's fork, so I'll fork his fork into a branch, and we'll sort it all out.
You can also just create a new PR and carry over his commits.
Sweet, will do. So that leaves us with one last stale PR, which is the update teams. That's been approved.
Why is that number so low?
It's because it's in community.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's just waiting on your suggestion, Javier. Or like, yeah.
So probably have them alphabetical. This looks like it puts them alphabetical.
Yeah, but if we commit using here the DCO check, it's weird. I'll take care of it later.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, if you want to push that change, then I'll merge it, and that will be the third of our stale PR actually dealt with, which is good. Okay, so we've got ways of resolving all of these three, which is good. I'm going to read one of them. I'm going to finish one of them, and Samba's going to update the other one, which is fantastic. Unlabeled issues. Do we have any?
I think we got any issues.
Zaro Boogs. Excellent. Yeah, then other than that, it's we did bump the docs to matching the 0.7 release, so the docs now actually create an SBOM at the end and allow you to download the SBOM correctly to your device of choice, which is kind of nice. And that just means that we're actually demoing, I think, one of the kind of fairly serious features that you get for free with build packs, which is kind of cool.
And just for my clarity, this is build packs API 07. Right?
Yes.
Build packs API 07, yeah. Cool. Yeah. Anything else that needs to be discussed?
I had one agenda item, which was Credly badges.
Credly badges.
Yes. So I've seen other CNCF projects do this. They issue a badge to their contributors and maintainers. It's just like something nice for them to share. It's more of a marketing thing than anything.
Cool. Yeah.
But it's always nice, and So Credly requires like some paid account to create badges and issue them, but CNCF will do that for us. So we can create build pack contributor and build pack maintainer badges and issue them to people if you want. The contributor one I think would be more useful than the maintainer one because it will at least help get people into the project first. And I have seen contributors are more excited about this.
Could I ask a question? Can you point me to a project or some idea on how these are used? Like where are they presented?
It's in Zoom.
Okay. Twitter?
So like you can get the badge issued and then you can share it on social media. You can add it on your LinkedIn profile.
Oh, I think I've seen somebody in California do this, haven't I? Okay. I'm not logging into Twitter. If they don't want me to see their content, then I won't see their content. Right, okay. So it's basically like Wordle for GitHub contributions.
Like it's an example badge or something like this.
So if I go look at their profile, okay, they have 3 badges, one for the Linux Foundation, one for fundamentals, and one for contributor.
Yeah.
Interesting. So the presumably the requirements then would be if you make any contribution, we hand out the badges, or
no, it's we have a definition for a contributor. Once you become a contributor and you're included in the teams.md, you have the option to get a badge if you would like to.
So they have what's this project, Kyverna?
Yeah.
They have another badge for fundamental.
Yeah.
Is earned, like it has the earning criteria.
Yeah. So you can do a couple of things. You can like Credly is just a simple badge profile verification thing where if you complete a course, for example, you can get a badge or you get an achievement. You gave a talk at a conference, like KubeCon hands out Credly badges if you've given a talk at KubeCon, for example. Or
where's my badge?
You can ask for one. But you can get badges for speaking at conferences. You can get badges for completing a course. You can get badges for making a contribution to an open source project.
Presumably, it uses the Mozilla Open badges.
No idea what it uses. It's a company. Credly is a company that a bunch of open source orgs use. So CNCF has an enterprise account with them, which allows them to issue badges. And like, you know how you have those CKA trainings like CCAT, CKS, and so on. They also issue a Credly badge and certificate for that.
Okay, cool.
So we can also create like a training course, for example, for build packs, and if you pass that, you can get a badge. But I thought this would be easier. It's just like you're a contributor, you can get a badge if you'd like. Or like you did a GSOC session with us, you can get a badge to prove that you did a GSOC session with us.
Okay.
Can we? One of the older holy grails of online learning was to be able to hand out badges at the end of courses. Can we hook Katacoda into it?
Yeah, so like they need stronger guarantees for that. Like if most of the CNCF projects that hand out badges for examinations needed to be certified in a certain way to make sure you're not cheating or anything. So like that Kyverna badge that you just saw for like fundamentals, that's like a course that you have to take and it gives you a certificate and the badge. For Kubernetes, it's those 3 CKA, CKS, and CCAD courses that you have to go through and you get a certificate and a badge. For if you want to create that for build packs, that's going to be a significant amount of effort, but we can do that.
No, yeah, no. I don't think the capacity exists right now for that.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking about ROI, right? Like the amount of work for potentially maybe doing something nice for somebody that does something is like, it's not like they're gonna be like, oh, I really want that badge. Let me go ahead and take this course, right?
Yeah, not for the courses, definitely. I think we can look into it for like contributors and like our mentees.
I definitely think it's a nice idea for Summer of Code people. And
Oh yeah, Summer of
kind of
Code, the Linux Foundation mentorship, basically any mentorship program, and contributor status, and maintainer status. Those would be good. And I assume they're low hanging fruit, right? Because at that point, there's a way to verify that. That's very strict.
Yep.
And the only other thing would be the design. How do we go about the designing of the badges?
The good thing is CNCF also has resources to do graphic designs for us, so we can also.
We want these 5 badges, right? And then they'll give us some iterations or some shit.
Yeah. So like for once we have that, what we'll get as a maintainer is the ability to issue badges given an email address. So whoever the contributor is, we can ask them if they'd like a badge and give us their email address. We'll send it to them. They can then choose to accept it or not. If they choose to accept it, then they can add it wherever they want, like on Twitter, LinkedIn, or their Credly page.
Cool. So do you want to talk to CNCF about that, or?
Yeah, I just wanted to show what it is and if it makes sense, and what just like list out what kind of badges we want.
Yeah.
We can also do it for like blogs. I don't know, like certified blog or something. I don't know. Like if you write a build packs blog or something, you get a badge.
You get a like, I don't know, like a bullhorn or something. I don't know. A promoter's badge.
Yeah. Build back promoter or something.
Yeah. I'd like to give some to some of our DevX people, and other people like Cora. She's done a lot of talks for us, and like, I would definitely want to give her a badge.
Yep. Plus, these are issued by Linux Foundation technically, because like the issuing organization is that, so it's like at least has some like authority behind it. It's not just some random organizations handing out badges.
Oh, that's cool. Nice idea. And it's cheap, as Javier says. It's a low-hanging fruit, so why not? Cool. It sounds like we've made some progress on things, whilst still remarking that there's a bunch of stale issues. I don't feel like trying to tackle that today. I don't know if we're going to have any value tackling that today, so maybe we'll have a look at it next time. But I have 1 or 2 ideas around it, but they're really just stream of consciousness things. So if we're sitting there for a while, maybe we'll be able to tackle it better next time. How does that sound?
Sounds good for now. Definitely think about it. Let's come up with some plans for next time.
Fantastic. So I don't think we need to stay around for much longer unless you want to just chat. But you can turn off the stream and we are done. Thank you very much, everyone.